Terence Crawford has firmly established himself as one of the most formidable boxers in the world, boasting an impeccable record of 41 wins with no losses. Recently, he added another victory to his flawless tally, further solidifying his reputation as a four-division world champion. Despite his undeniable achievements and dominance in the ring, Crawford has not been immune to criticism on social media. Many critics question the conviction behind his performances and speculate about his ability to handle a potential fight against Canelo Alvarez. Additionally, rumors are circulating that Crawford might be contemplating retirement while he is still at the peak of his career. This prompts an investigation into the validity of these claims and the current state of Crawford's career. The latest bout saw Crawford defending the WBA super welterweight title against Uzbekistan's champion Israil Madrimov. Widely regarded as the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world, Crawford entered the ring as the unified welterweight champion. In a strategic move, he decided to drop down a weight class to pursue a new title, following his thrilling upset victory over Jose Aliu against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. The event, held at the arena in Los Angeles, was perfectly set for the main event between Crawford and Madrimov. The atmosphere was electric as fans eagerly awaited to see if Crawford could secure a new belt against the relatively inexperienced Madrimov. During the fight, both Crawford and Madrimov approached the first 5 rounds with extreme caution. Contrary to the expectations of some fans who believed it would be an easy fight for Crawford, Madrimov showcased impressive skills, making significant reads on Crawford's movements. There was no clear dominant opponent at the start of round 5, but Crawford began landing more jabs to Madrimov's body, demonstrating his adaptability and fighting IQ. This fight was not easy for Crawford, as he faced a worthy opponent who challenged him to elevate his performance. Remembering that Crawford had 11 straight wins by knockout, tonight's rivals seemed capable of breaking that streak. In the second half of the fight, Crawford made significant improvements, but the bout remained tightly contested through the championship rounds. Crawford landed more direct punches, though Madrimov managed to score a few of his own. The 3 judges kept their scorecards close, reflecting the intense competition between the fighters. This fight marked the first time in 8 years that Crawford had to go the distance to secure a victory. Ultimately, he won by unanimous decision, preserving his undefeated record and claiming the WBA light welterweight title. With this win, Crawford has achieved championship status in 4 different divisions, a testament to his versatility and skill in the sport. Despite his accomplishments, unconfirmed reports suggest that Crawford might be considering retirement while still at the top of his game. This isn't the first time rumors of Crawford's retirement have surfaced. Despite his impressive career, he has faced criticism for fighting only once a year since 2020. At 36 years old, Crawford remains in peak form and is coming off a decisive win against Madrimov. This fight, expected to be closely contested, might end up being both Crawford's defining fight and possibly his last, especially with a planned rematch against Errol Spence Jr. now uncertain. Crawford, who boasts a perfect record of 41-0 with 31 knockouts, does not have a clear plan for his next fight or his future in boxing. In a recent post on his now-defunct Twitter account, Crawford hinted at the possibility of retirement, stating, "I might give you all one more or not, because y'all don't know how to appreciate greatness when you see it." This comment reflects Crawford's frustration with how his achievements have been recognized. He feels that he has not always received the credit he deserves, often being overlooked or only recognized later. Despite this frustration, Crawford is satisfied with his career and firmly believes he deserves a place in the Hall of Fame. His recent remarks underscore his sense of being undervalued by critics, even as he remains confident in his legacy and accomplishments in the sport. The question remains, could there still be more to come from Terence Crawford and his incredible skills? Has any fighter truly pushed him to his limits, forcing him to dig deep and showcase his best? So far, no one has managed to do that, and whether such a challenge will ever come is uncertain. Speculation about a potential showdown between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, the reigning king of the 168-pound division, has been a hot topic among boxing fans. This fight would be a dream match for many, but aside from that, Crawford seems uncertain about his future. He has turned down a fight with rising star Jermall Charlo and dismissed Deontay Wilder's recent call-out, leaving it unclear if he's still interested in facing other top contenders. If Crawford were to retire now, it would be a significant disappointment for fans who would love to see him pursue greatness in a fight with Canelo. Even though Crawford has downplayed Wilder's abilities, suggesting that Wilder is not on his level, a match against the young and unbeaten contender would be an exciting event that many would eagerly watch. Ultimately, it's Crawford's decision. Very few great fighters manage to retire undefeated and on their own terms. Crawford would join a rare group of champions who left the sport at the peak of their careers, like Rocky Marciano, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, and Ricardo Lopez, all of whom ended their careers without a loss. Crawford's recent comment, "I might give you all one more," leaves us wondering if he will indeed return for one final fight. If he does, the big question remains: who will be his opponent? Ryan Garcia was vocal on Twitter after the fight, claiming that Canelo would easily defeat Crawford. Garcia argued that Crawford should stay at 154 pounds and focus on fighting top contenders like Virgil Ortiz and Timothy Bradley, even considering a fight against Manny Pacquiao at 147 pounds. This recent fight against Madrimov showed that Crawford, despite his incredible skill, might struggle against bigger opponents. His strength and durability were exposed, revealing some vulnerabilities that Canelo could exploit, potentially turning the bout into a one-sided affair. Crawford's power didn't translate well into the higher weight class, and he was noticeably out-muscled by Madrimov. This fight should put an end to any talk of Canelo and redirect attention to more fitting challenges. A fight against Errol Spence Jr. would be a solid matchup for Crawford instead. It's clear that while Crawford is an exceptional fighter, moving up to face Canelo, who has excelled in multiple weight classes, would be a significant mismatch. This fight was a masterclass in high-level boxing strategy and kept fans on the edge of their seats. Here's how the fight unfolded. Madrimov started strong, clearly taking the early rounds with his aggressive approach. He won rounds 1 and 2, while Crawford edged out round 3. Madrimov came back to take rounds 4 and 5, but Crawford found his rhythm in rounds 6 and 7. The 7th round was tricky to score, and I gave the edge to Crawford in the final round. Despite being a right-handed fighter, Crawford often switches to southpaw, using it to land more effective punches. Madrimov did a good job controlling his movements and picked up where he left off from his previous fight against Karanov. His jab was effective, but Crawford managed to land more decisive shots as the fight progressed. An interesting moment in the last round was Madrimov landing a good left hook, but I was hoping he'd use more combinations. Crawford's counterpunching was sharp, and Madrimov's output was low, which played into Crawford's strengths and his ability to switch to southpaw in the 12th round. This made me wonder if his power was in his left hand. However, Madrimov was caught with 2 right uppercuts from Crawford. Porter's commentary was a bit frustrating as he seemed overly biased towards Crawford and didn't give Madrimov enough credit. Despite that, it was a brilliant fight. Both fighters showcased their styles, Madrimov with his aggressive, springy, orthodox approach, and Crawford with his counter-punching and switch hitting. The fight was incredibly close, and I had Crawford potentially up by a point. Crawford's power and reach gave him an edge, but both landed significant shots. Madrimov put everything into his punches, especially his right hand, but Crawford's ability to move and set himself made a difference. In summary, Terence Crawford continues to dominate the boxing world with his exceptional skills and strategic prowess. His recent victory against Madrimov not only preserves his undefeated record, but also highlights his ability to adapt and overcome challenging opponents. Despite facing criticism and rumors of retirement, Crawford remains a top contender, with many fans eager to see who he will face next. Whether he decides to pursue a dream match against Canelo Alvarez or continue defending his titles against other top contenders, Crawford's legacy in boxing is already secure. His potential retirement would mark the end of an era, but for now, Crawford continues to inspire and excite boxing enthusiasts around the world with his remarkable talent and unwavering determination.